From day dot to the day you graduate, you'll have a fair tour of the hospital by virtue of placements. So if I'm not mistaken, I think we had general surgery, obstetrics and gynecology, pediatrics and emergency medicine.
Yes.
Oh, good, man. Some you find interesting, others not so much. But in some, you really find yourself in your element. Always felt I was fairly decent across my different placements until I did pediatrics. During my first year as a physician associate student, it was primary care, a new mother, and a 9-week-old boy. I don't remember the details of the consultation, but I do clearly remember how uncomfortable I felt and the sense of incompetence. This I put down to my lack of experience and the second-hand anxiety I got from the babies. But mind you, my GP supervisor was in the room with me all the time. Child was fine and the mother was reassured. However, it did leave a bitter taste in my mouth that me and these little fellows are not on the same spectrum. Enjoying pediatrics rotation was just out of the realms of possibility, but it happened. Pediatrics was probably the rotation I most enjoyed. This I put down to the consultant. Bro, he was an absolute G. He was one African don. He was tall as hell, spoke like 9 languages.
Speak very good French.
Gracias. The children would see him and would forget that they were actually sick. He would make physical examinations feel like playtime to these kids. When I say his examination was like a Swiss watch, my man was on point. The smoothest chunk and check. And I remember looking at him whilst he was examining it. I was standing in the corner and the only thought that came to my head was like, bro, one day when I grow up, I want to be like this man.
I want to be like you.
And to be honest, I've never felt like that about any doctor during my 2 years of placement. One other doctor I felt this way about was one Spanish don I met in AMU. He was a consultant from Spain. And when I tell you this man was the personification of evidence-based medicine, that was what he was.
I am the law.
He didn't take any medical decision without citing a paper. Not the off the cuff, oh, this paper said this paper said that. He would cite the paper, tell you how many people were involved, the changes that were observed, and how this was applicable in medical practice. In his presence, you would contemplate your adequacy for medicine. Let's say he'll give amlodipine to a patient. He'll be telling us, giving it because of A, B, and C, the reaction and the half-life this, half-life that. And you are staring and you're looking at it and you're asking yourself, some people are just leagues apart.
Amazing. How do you do it, Kakarot?
Often at times when I look at doctors, right, my seniors, I always tell myself, if I'd had the same training and the same experience, I could probably be better than them. But when I was in front of this one, I just had to tell myself, like, oh, big man, calm down. This man was just in a league of his own.
You're better than me, Kakarot.
I mention people like this because they make you fall in love with medicine again. You know, that initial passion that one had for medicine, that collywobbles, butterflies in your stomach that made you want to do medicine. When you meet people like this, it just rekindles it.
He's insane!
It's not always like this. Doctors in hospitals are not always this energetic. They don't always give you this vibe that makes you want to do medicine. Oftentimes, they are tired, disillusioned by the system, going through the motions day in and day out, just trying to tick the next box, jumping through hoops for portfolio brownie points to advance their careers. And frankly, you can't blame them. Some are caught in mimetic traps. They've invested a lot in medicine. Even when they are not enjoying it, they're still staying because the cost invested is too much for them to just abandon it.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please. So I just got kicked out. Need to find a different place. And if I'm to be totally honest, I could make the argument that a part of myself is in that trap as well. But I'm still processing it. That's placement, man. Different experiences. You'll enjoy some, others will be totally boring. You'll see yourself grow from the day you start to the day it ends. So don't lose hope when you go in there and you feel like you are rubbish. Everybody feels that way when they first go in there. Even the African don and the Spanish don, they were both beginners at one point, but they went through the paces and became who they became. You might not be exactly like them, but with time, you'll definitely get better in whatever endeavor you put your mind to. It's your boy OT, and I'm out. Salute.